And I just thought this is a copy of my midterm and my final in my online class. And one of the things that is somewhat of a challenge for online classes is how to write assessments so that it doesn't make any sense to plagiarize. I mean, you simply can't. I'm teaching art history here, and I'll have to tell you that probably Quizlet and Course Hero. I mean, there are so many sites available to students where they can simply just plug in a keyword and get the answer. That writing an assessment for art history, and I'm sure for a lot of classes, it's out there. I mean, I don't even want to pretend how many maybe Great Gatsby questions there would be online, or things like that. So the challenge now is to write an assessment where they can't really plagiarize. It doesn't make any sense. So in writing my midterm and my final, I sat down and I thought, what do I really want them to do? What do you really do for a midterm? What do you really do for a final? And basically it was that you need to go back to and review all of the content that we have developed in this class, review it, digest it, and transform it. And in doing that, I want to see that you have actually used your skills that you have built up in class to create another project, another product. Artists do this all the time. Designers do this all the time. It's called design thinking, where you put out a product and then you prototype, this is a prototype, you test it, and then you do a reiteration of it. It shouldn't be any different for any of the other, courses. So basically what I did is I gave them this particular rubric, this particular assignment, and this was their midterm and again their final. What did I ask them to do? Very first week, I asked them to use the e-portfolio that is available for us in Canvas. Doesn't have to be done, but every student at Ferris and Kendall has an e-portfolio. And if you're interested, I'll show you how to use that, at a question and answer afterwards. But basically, this is their site. They have their own little web page, and it's a digital portfolio. So I had them create that in the very first week and give themselves a folder called Art of Islam. The next thing I had them do was to select 3 of their assignments. I have students produce something twice a week, every Wednesday, every Sunday, plan on it. Wednesday is low stakes, and it's a scaffolding thing for Sunday, which is a bigger assignment. So they have lots of assignments at this time. I want you to go back. I want you to select 3 assignments, 1 from Unit 1, 1 from Unit 2, and 1 is a wild card, whatever you really like. I want you to use my feedback, and then all of their assignments were peer reviewed. I want you to use feedback from all of your classmates. I want you to take this feedback, and I want you to go back to these assignments. And I tell them right up front, going back to some of these assignments is like seeing an ex-boyfriend. Too familiar and not all that pleasant. You gotta go back, get back into those assignments. I want you to correct it. I want you to use all of the feedback, and I want you to correct it. And then I want you to do a deeper dive. I want you to re-research something. I want you to take it to another level. I want you to bring in another argument. I want you to bring in another example. Maybe do a better formal analysis of that work. Do a deeper dive. Show me that you've gone back to your original work and that you've improved it. This is the second iteration of your work. And then that gets the bulk of the points right there. Caveat, they have to do it in a different colored font so that when you're looking at this assignment, you can see what was the original and what was the different color. First time I did this, I had to go back, I had to get the original, I had to put it up in 2 screens, and I had to compare the 2, and I thought, I'm never gonna do this again. And then I thought, just make them do it in another colored font in a single document, and then you can see, what did they do the first time? What did they change? And how significant was that change? How thoughtful, how original, how much research did they do? And then in each assignment was labeled. And then I had them write a reflection paper. This reflection paper is so interesting. I mean, these were assignments I actually looked forward to reading. What part of the reason why I did this is because a lot of our students need to learn how to learn. So many of our students need that. In my face-to-face classes, I would be giving them content. I'd be writing on the board, and I'd turn around and I would say, take notes, write this down. And then they, oh, okay. So, it's like, well, that would come naturally to me. Helping them learn how to learn means going back and say, what did I really knock out of the park? What topics did I really like? What kinds of learning assignments? Because I have all kinds of assessments in there, all kinds of activities. Which ones helped me the most? And what did I do to become successful? And that to me is very interesting, but it helps them, especially at midterm, it helps them to go back and say, wait a minute, I did this, I did all right with it. I think I'll try that again. But it also helps you. They enjoyed these kinds of things. They felt successful with these kinds of things. Maybe I'll do that again, right? So that kind of feedback is very, very useful. And I thought it was really interesting. And then I just, reminded them, hey, this is a big stakes assignment. I gave you a full week after spring break to do this. I want quality work. Then that work, as I said, was uploaded into their e-portfolio, and they have it. And in some cases, a student's going to use this for their writing example for graduate school. They have it. They've got an entire portfolio. And if I were Queen of Kendall, oh no, I would go big. If I were Queen of Ferris, I would require all of my students to keep an e-portfolio so that when it's time for assessment, I would be able to say, here is our, here are our outcomes, here's our learning mastery, and here are our artifacts. And all of it would be digitized. It would be right there. All right, this is available to you. I can see application for this in a lot of different, disciplines. And so I offer this to you, and feel free to use it as you will. All right, now the other thing, and I'm going to move quickly through the other thing. They didn't give me any time, and I see questions, so I'm going to stop. Good, e-portfolios and hospitality. It's difficult to read A papers from the typical A student. To redo A papers, oh, I've had a student that could have, fantastic student. And when I went back, in actual fact, yes, that student was the kind of student that would go back and redo it. Those A papers are students that, are the kinds of students to be able to say, I could do better. You can always do better. A reflective essay, that's from Pamela. I'm not going to read that. I'm going to leave. Okay, that's fine too. Rhonda, I've never used ePortfolio. Karen, you know what? I will sit down and I will show you. If you want to do a Zoom breakout, if you want me to call you and we'll Zoom, I will show you how to use them, because absolutely, to just have a nice portfolio of the work they've done in their career in college is excellent. Karen, when you go into Canvas, look at your picture up at the top. Click on that picture and you'll see a link for ePortfolio, and there's a tutorial in there. Okay? All right, the other thing I want to show you, and I'm going super fast, I know, is I want to show you this about rubrics, because basically this is something else that we have in Canvas. And to be honest with you, this is the reason why a lot of institutions chose Canvas, because Canvas can do this. So I want to show you how to use rubrics. I'm going to do kind of design thinking again. I'm going to do an end, backward design. I'm going to show you what you can do, right? Look at this. You can have pie charts. I love pie charts. You can have pie charts of your entire program outcomes. You're at the course level. So how did my students master? Were they able to recognize the significance of art forms relative to Quranic laws and traditions? That's problematic, but were they able to master it? Oh yeah. I have a pie chart that shows it. And then here is a list of the individual students. I blocked out their names, obviously, but this gives you course level outcomes, every single outcome. And did they master it? Did they meet it? And are they near mastery but below it? Are they well below it? And it's all color coded right here. And oh, hello, you can export that report. I'm going to show you how to get there. But the first thing I'm going to do is start at the very beginning. You're like, Rhonda, that's cool, but I don't need pie charts. I'm not as excited about pie charts as you are. All right, I'm just going to show you how to make a rubric at the lesson level, you know, just a single assignment level. Here's how to make a rubric, okay? So start your home page, your landing page, you go to outcomes, and when you go to outcomes, you'll see manage rubric. Click on manage rubric, and then you add a rubric. And by the way, this is going to be cookbook. I'm going to be saying, add this, do that, click here. So don't try to memorize it. You won't get all these steps. You'll have this as a PDF, and then at the end, there's a link to Canvas and their videos how to do it. All right. So just watch, you know, this is just, you're just watching the whole process to kind of internalize it. Don't worry about recalling step by step. All right, so you're going to go in and you're going to make a rubric, right? Add a rubric, and it's very, very intuitive. You know, the little pencil will let you edit. Here's a rubric, and then if you click here, if you click range, then you can add and make it more nuanced as you go, right? Add a criterion, and then, you know, just give yourself a range so you have it's more nuanced, and then you can write comments right in that rubric. Click update rubric, and there you go. Now it's housed in outcomes. You got to attach it to the assignment. So you go into your assignment, you've created your assignment by clicking edit, you write your instructions here, and then you scroll down and it says add a rubric. You add your rubric, and boom, when you go to grade it in speed grading, you'll say find rubric, click it, and the rubric you've attached to the assignment shows up. I think I have, here it is, and you'll see the, you know, the paper on one side, or the assignment, or the event on one side, and here we are in Speed Grader, and you can just, yep, there, you did it, you did it, you did it, you did it, it adds it up, you're done. You can put comments in here, you can write comments right into the artifact, and you've created a rubric. You can also write comments at the bottom here. I like to video comments. It's more personal, and it gives them, you know, it's easier to give them more information if I video it. All right, boom, you've created a rubric, but you can do so much more. And that's where I want to take you. Again, this is just cookbook. You can go back and follow these steps. Don't try to take it all in. The thing I want to impress upon you is when you start to build your rubric, you have to nest folders. And when you nest each of the folders, you start at the root. It's true all the way through building a class and going online. Start at the root. The root is the objectives. The root objectives are the program objectives. Inside the folder of the program objectives, you put your course objectives. Inside the folder for the course objectives, you put your lesson objectives. When you grade your lesson, your assignment, Canvas will automatically create that data set that will show if that student has met the course objectives, if that assignment has met the course objective, and if that course objective has met the program objectives. It's a beautiful thing. Here we are. Now, here at Ferris, we have in the program outcomes at the administrative level, Ferris has a folder, and in that folder are all the different colleges. At the time I built my class, Kendall College did not have, for art history, program assessments in there. It's not a problem, but check, if you're at Ferris, check and make sure if your college has program assessments here. That way the entire program has course objectives all lined up. so that when the HLC comes, all they have to do is say, here you go, we've done it. At this time, it wasn't available for me, not a problem. I created my own program outcomes. I am in outcomes. I made a folder by adding a outcome plus outcome. I created a folder called program outcomes. And this is all my program outcomes: visual analysis, critical reading, cross-cultural, writing, produce research. I gave them very friendly names so I wouldn't have to try to remember, all right? These are all my program outcomes. In these folders, I need to make my course outcomes. So in each course, right here, here's my program outcomes. I created a course outcome. In that course outcome, I made a rubric. And it's very simple. Does it exceed expectation? Does it meet expectations? Is it below expectations? It doesn't need. That's all you have to do. That's it. Then you have to question yourself, and here is where it's really important. So heads up. You want to decide right here, what kind of calculation method are you going to use? This is where it can get confusing. You have a choice. Are you going to use a decaying average, number of times, most recent, and highest? Let me explain. The decaying average assumes that the more times you do something, the better you'll get at it. The more times I play a song on the piano, the 14th time I've played that song, it is assumed that I'll make fewer mistakes than the first time I played that song. That is a decaying average. But I teach art history. And in this course, I was teaching, the Umayyad dynasty, and that would not help my students much when we got to the Ottoman dynasty. So what are my assessments? What am I doing with my assessment? What am I doing with that assignment? Am I asking them to do something they've already practiced? My students already know how to write a visual analysis. They should be writing visual analysis like brushing their teeth without even thinking, I know exactly what to do. So if for a visual analysis, I would use a decaying average. But if I'm asking them about the culture and the history of the Ottoman Empire, they're new at that. I would be saying the most recent score. Does that make sense to everybody? And all of that is explained. You have a little calculation method here, but you can also Google it. Be aware of the fact that you can Google this. Every time you write an assignment, ask yourself, is this a matter of practice? Because if you're teaching an applicable skill, an applied skill like playing the piano, well, yeah, that makes sense. All right, I've done it. Now, all I have to do is go back into my assignment at the lesson level. Right? I go to my assignment and I've made a rubric for my assignment. All right, here's my rubric, just like I showed you in the beginning. And then I go here, find outcomes. This is the beautiful thing. Canvas will take me back here and I will find the outcome. Does this assignment address my students' research? Does it address the cultural and historical? Is this a visual analysis of an individual work? I select it at the course level, right here. And I can say, all right, do I want to use 5 points here, or did I already give them 5 points? I can use the points here or not, doesn't matter. And then I submit it. I cut that off in the picture I assign. I apologize, but then I just submit it. And look at this. I have all of my course level objectives right here. They did it. And Canvas will automatically, this will be part of the rubric, where I can now click here when I grade it and say they made it, they mastered it. And it will form that data set, that quantitative data for your class. I know I'm getting too excited about this. How do I access this? In Gradebook, go to Gradebook, and here it says Gradebook, pull down to Learning Mastery, and there you have it. Is this beautiful? I love pie charts. And here it is. Every single student at the course level, have they mastered it? All right. And here it is. Right here, you can go to Canvas and it will take you through step by step. This cookbook kind of click here, do this, upload it there. So I'm going to go back into chats now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to go to chats because I bet there are questions. Never used ePortfolio. FYI, Pamela is my sister and she always has something to say. Can you also add the rubric by clicking the plus rubric at the bottom of each assignment? Yes, please, thank you. When you're creating, thank you, Kelly, when you're creating the assignment, just add rubric, and that rubric that you've created will come right into the assignment. Because I've already, you know, for visual analysis, we do that. So I've got a rubric already. So if my assignment is do a visual analysis, I'll just add that rubric. It's already made.
I just wanted to say that if people weren't using the whole outcomes thing, which is fabulous, by the way, you did a great job. Thank you.
I love it.
If they're not doing that, they just want to simply add the rubric. They can do that at the bottom of each assignment. Just pull up that assignment, and at the bottom of it, you'll see there's a little plus the rubric, and you can just create one, and then it'll pop up in SpeedGrader for you to grade. It's great.
Right, it is. Pamela, yes, in order to make those pie charts, you've got to attach the rubrics to the course level objectives. So that's the only way it's going to be able to give you that data. How do I get to the outcomes page? Paul, when you land right on the Canvas homepage, on the left-hand side, there's a menu. And in that menu, you'll see outcomes. And that's where it will be. Well, thank you. And let's see, do I have any other messages? I don't. Do you have any other questions for me? I have 5 minutes. You're welcome, Chris. You're welcome. Would you like me to go into a live class and show you how to, where we are? Don't be mean. She's my big sister. She's always doing that. Would you like me to go into a live class and show you? Would you like to go back to the summative evaluation? Live class examples. All right, I want to do this. I'm going to, the caveat here is that I don't want to go in where there are assignments primarily because I have student names there. Let me get a live class up for you so that I can show it to you. Here we are. I have 1,000 screens open. All right. Karen, first of all, here I am, and this is my dashboard. And in my dashboard, here is my account, and I have ePortfolios. My big sister tells me that they don't have ePortfolios at U of M. This may be available. It might be one of those things that Ferris bought and U of M did not. It's a Canvas thing. But this is beautiful because right here, and of course I didn't, I mean, I just did this real quickly, but these are my folders in my ePortfolio. I can format this. I can put my picture here and all kinds of stuff. Each folder can be a class. So here is a folder called Rhonda Kessling, but it could be called, you know, modern art. And then in my folder, I can add my assignments. I can add a folder for, you know, my works of art versus a folder for my written works. However you want them to organize their ePortfolio, it's all right here. And like I said, if a student began at their beginning of their academic career and then kept all of these artifacts then can be made public. My ePortfolio can be made public, and I can use this as my web page. You know, I can use this for writing examples for graduate school. I can use this as, you know, the artifacts of my academic career. I'm going back to the dashboard, and I actually created a developmental class. This class will be shared with all of Kendall, all of faculty. It's yours, you may have it. I need to clean it up to be able to, you know, get student artifacts and identities out of here, but basically here is a class. I start on a different home page, and we'll talk about that. And these are my modules. And then I ask them for their assessments, their final assessments. Here are your instructions. And I put their instructions, what I just shared with you, it's all right here. I've put all of this right here. Here, Paul, here are outcomes. In my outcomes, my program outcomes are right here, because at that time, our program outcomes were not nested in Ferris State University's outcome. Ferris State University then has outcomes here. I believe art history's in here. I think we put it in here. Yes, we did. So Jackie and I put it in there. All right. So
I have two questions, Rhonda.
Yeah. Okay, go.
Sorry, I was trying to get you in between.
No.
So for the e-portfolios, because I haven't used those before.
They're cool.
So if you, the e-portfolio, how'd you get to it? Under your profile?
Yeah, right here in my account.
Okay, that makes sense then. So I was
Right
in your class.
E-portfolio.
Okay, yeah.
There
Gotcha.
it is. And that space belongs to the student. It does not belong to the faculty. It does not belong to the class. It belongs to the student, and it follows them all the way through their career.
Could you show, so some people on here are just starting on Canvas. Can you just show how to find like a tutorial in, under the Commons or the guides? So
Right.
if they want to go back and trial this, because it was a lot at once, which is cool, because the whole idea was you're trying to find out what you could do. So what she did was click on the question mark icon, the help icon on the very far left menu when you're in Canvas.
Here I am. I'm going back to Canvas, and I clicked right there. I clicked there, and I'm just going to search the Canvas guides. Mm-hmm. Click here, and that takes you here. And you know what? I would just want to go directly there. Rubrics, outcomes. And I put the link for how to do it right in that PDF. So at the bottom, you'll have a link. It's a live link, and you can go right here, and it'll take you right to calculation methods, what are outcomes, how do I align an outcome with a rubric in a course. So it's right there. And this is really cookbook kind of tech, it's like click here, do this, add 3 cups. So, you don't try to keep it all, memorize it. Just go back, just know how to get back to that step-by-step instruction.
Rhonda, could I jump in real quick and just say something about e-portfolio? Okay, so I'm the one that we moved to e-portfolios for our internship. And so a couple of things I just wanted to mention. There are a ton of free sites that, builders that are out there. We were nervous about using either Blackboard or Canvas because of the switching of LMS systems, and also with that, students having access to it upon graduation. So for our assignment, we actually tell them they can use whatever platform that they want to, because they're basically teaching themselves. And then I just use a rubric to grade content, but because we're in the College of Business, we wanted them to have something that they could take with them and update continually. And we were afraid if we started on Blackboard, because obviously at Ferris, we were actually making the switch.
Yeah.
And that was one reason we didn't. And it's funny because we went to a class and dental hygiene had them use it in Blackboard. And then they ran into a whole bunch of problems because they had students that then were in half Blackboard, half Canvas.
Right.
And so, but I would strongly recommend, if anyone is an interest in e-portfolios, you can Google that pretty easily. And like I said, and you can get examples. And it has been so nice for me to grade and just keep track of the internship experience.
Yeah.
And again, they have to do personal SWOT analysis, artifacts of what they use in the classroom on their internship. It's worked out because we're kind of using it to drive curriculum and where are there gaps in the education and the class. And I feel like I'm like a e-portfolio cheerleader. I love them.
Yeah.
I guess I would just be leery about using the Canvas or a particular platform.
Okay.
About having permanent access for.
I didn't have any problem transferring my e-portfolio from Canvas into my Wix page.
Okay.
Boom, done.
Okay.
And I just uploaded it right into my Wix page directly from Canvas. And
Okay.
then I just manipulated it and formatted it right in my Wix homepage.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so for me, you know, I mean, it was like, because here the students can easily make it public and then turn it off, make it public and turn it off. And I like that about it. So I would say, make it public, I'm gonna grade it. And then now turn it off, it's private again. And it gave them a certain amount of control. But you know, I mean, for e-portfolios out there, it's a great idea. This happens to be Portfolium, and Portfolium was my summative evaluation, program evaluation for my instructional design master's degree. So in other words, all of our stuff was kept in an e-Portfolium, which is now the add-on for Canvas. And so I still have it. Everything's still there for my program evaluation at the end when I graduated. That's why I like it so much. All right.
Thank you.
Access it?
Sorry?
You still access it? That you
Yeah,
can still access it?
absolutely. It's mine. It is absolutely mine. It's all mine. It's like having Dropbox or, you know, Google Drive. It belongs to me.
This was excellent. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. My pleasure. I'm going to go back. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to go back into chats. If there's anything else that you would like to ask me about, you know what I will do is I will put my email here. This is my Ferris email. And please feel free to get in touch. Oops, that's EDU. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.